What if I told you that not caring about sports might reveal something interesting about the way your mind works? While millions of people celebrate victories, argue about rivalries, and feel their heart race during a match, some people watch the same excitement from the outside and feel absolutely nothing. No excitement, no attachment, no curiosity. And according to psychology, that's not strange at all. In fact, the reasons why some people don't care about sports can tell us a lot about personality, identity, emotions, and even how the brain processes reward. Have you ever noticed how sports seem to divide people into two completely different worlds? On one side are the passionate fans. They know the players, follow every score, and can spend hours discussing games. On the other side are people who couldn't care less. They don't watch matches, they don't follow teams, and they often struggle to understand why everyone else seems so emotionally invested. To many people, this can seem unusual. After all, sports are one of the most popular forms of entertainment on the planet. But psychology suggests that this difference isn't a flaw. It's simply a reflection of how different human minds are wired. One of the biggest reasons comes down to something psychologists call reward sensitivity. Every brain is constantly searching for experiences that feel rewarding, but not everyone finds reward in the same things. For sports fans, competition creates excitement. Unpredictable outcomes create suspense. Victories trigger feelings of satisfaction and achievement. The brain responds to these moments with strong emotional rewards. But for someone who isn't interested in sports, those same experiences may not activate the same response. Their brain simply doesn't see the activity as particularly meaningful or stimulating. It's similar to how one person can spend hours playing chess while another finds it boring after 5 minutes. The activity isn't objectively exciting or boring. The difference lies in how the brain experiences it. Another important factor is something called social identity. Human beings naturally seek belonging. We want to feel connected to something larger than ourselves. For many people, sports provide exactly that. Supporting a team creates a shared identity. It creates a feeling of us versus them. Fans celebrate together. They suffer losses together. And over time, that shared emotional experience becomes part of who they are. But not everyone builds their identity through groups. Some people find meaning through ideas rather than teams. Others connect through creativity, learning, entrepreneurship, technology, or personal goals. Instead of asking, which team do I belong to? They ask, what interests me? For these individuals, sports fandom may feel unnecessary because their sense of identity comes from different sources. Another powerful influence is childhood. Many of our strongest interests begin long before we realize it. Think about it. A child who grows up in a family where every weekend revolves around football, cricket, or basketball is constantly exposed to the excitement surrounding those activities. They learn the rules. They absorb the emotions. They connect sports with family bonding and positive memories. Over time, the brain forms strong emotional associations. But imagine someone who grows up in an environment where sports are rarely discussed. Perhaps their family focused more on books, music, technology, art, or academics. Without repeated exposure, the emotional connection never develops. As adults, they don't feel like they're missing anything because sports were never part of the foundation that shaped their interests. Psychology also points to differences in cognitive preferences. People naturally enjoy different ways of engaging with the world. Some are drawn to fast-paced competition and real-time action. Others are fascinated by abstract ideas, complex theories, creative expression, or long-term problem solving. While sports involve strategy and skill, people with highly analytical or abstract thinking styles may find themselves more attracted to subjects like science, philosophy, psychology, engineering, or art. It's not because sports lack depth. It's because different minds are stimulated by different kinds of challenges. And then there's the emotional side of the equation. Sports can be an emotional roller coaster. One moment there's excitement, the next there's frustration, then hope, then disappointment. For many fans, that's exactly what makes sports enjoyable. The emotional highs and lows create intensity and meaning, but not everyone enjoys that experience. Some individuals prefer emotional stability over emotional intensity. Psychologists who study emotional regulation have found that certain people naturally avoid situations that create unpredictable emotional swings. Rather than investing energy into something they can't control, they prefer activities that provide a more consistent sense of satisfaction. This doesn't make them less passionate. It simply means they channel their emotions differently. Interestingly, not caring about sports can sometimes reflect a tendency toward independent thinking. Human beings are heavily influenced by social norms. When something becomes widely popular, many people participate because it helps them feel connected to those around them. But some individuals are naturally less motivated by popularity or social expectations. They feel comfortable liking what they like, even when it differs from the majority. Since sports are among the world's most shared interests, choosing not to engage with them may simply be a sign that a person follows their own preferences rather than the crowd. And this brings us to perhaps the most important point of all. People who don't care about sports are not less passionate, they're not less social, and they're certainly not less interesting. Their enthusiasm is simply directed elsewhere. Maybe they become absorbed in music. Maybe they love technology. Maybe they are fascinated by business, psychology, history, science, writing, or creative projects. Every mind searches for stimulation, meaning, and fulfillment. The destination is different, but the underlying human need is exactly the same. So the next time someone says they don't care about sports, don't assume they're missing out. They may simply be engaging with the world in a completely different way. Because in the end, human behavior is shaped by personality, environment, emotions, and cognitive preferences. Sports are just one path among many. And what truly matters isn't whether someone follows a team. It's understanding what captures their attention, fuels their curiosity, and gives their life meaning. If you enjoyed this video and want more fascinating insights into psychology and human behavior, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.